Can you please give us a small introduction to yourself and how you got into writing?
Yeah, okay. I'm Cassidy Reyne, which is a pen name. I am originally from Sweden, but I've lived here in the UK for about 35 years now, I think it is. And back in 18, I was sitting here at home. My daughter was at university and she was doing a year abroad in Australia, and she had just gone back. I think it was February time. She'd just gone back there, and she was already saying, I want to transfer and finish my degree in Australia. And I thought, okay, that's another year she's going to be gone. Our son was a few years younger. He was in high school, maybe even sixth form. And he was either at school or he was playing sports, which he did a lot of, or he was with his girlfriend. So we barely saw him. My husband runs our business, which I help out with a little bit. It's a property company, but it's not enough for us both to be busy all day, every day. So I sat there thinking, what do I do now? I can't just sit here and do nothing. I can't sit here and eat chocolates and watch trashy TV. It doesn't work for me. So I decided to do the scariest thing I could think of. I've been in my head for a number of years, and that was to write a book. So I sat down and my fingers were shaking and I was shaking. I even put a password on the file on the computer, even though I'm the only one who uses the laptop. That's how much I felt I'm doing something wrong here. But I ended up writing the entire book and I haven't stopped since. So
The
it's what,
best leap
seven,
you took.
yeah, 7 years later.
That's fantastic. I mean, I know a lot of people just love to take that leap, and the fact that you actually did that is fantastic. But I so feel the need to put like a password on, even though nobody uses it. Like, I think I've dabbled with a few trying to do drafts. It's never gone anywhere, and I've always just given up on it. But like, those files are hidden. It's in like junk, this, that, and like so many different files you can't actually see it. So I definitely feel that.
Yeah, there's the only trick that there is to it is don't think of it as writing a book. Don't think about it as writing a draft for anything. Just write it down as if you're telling a story to yourself.
Yeah.
Everything else will come later.
As a way to express yourself instead of like an actual
Yeah,
like this is a book.
yeah. Take that pressure off you and just tell yourself a story, and then you can sort
Definitely.
everything else out later.
Where do you often find yourself getting inspiration for your books? Has there ever been a moment where you thought that's a really odd bit of inspiration that's something like you have to write it down, or has there ever been moments
Um,
like that?
I was talking to actually some people about this yesterday, and quite frankly, it's just life
Yeah.
because life is often a lot stranger than fiction. I can sit on the train and overhear some people talking about something fairly random, and that can spark an idea. Or I'm in a restaurant and something goes on in the restaurant, and I thought, oh, that would go really well in a book. And then that might then just become a whole story about that just one little thing that happened. I had it on holiday actually. I was talking to a girl who worked in the resort and chatted with her, and I said, I want to put you in a book because she was such a sweet, lovely girl. Tiny little thing, absolutely tiny, petite little slip of a girl, and she was probably about 22. Her name's Lal, and I thought it was such a beautiful name. I thought, I'm just going to have to put you in a book. And she said, well, what's the book going to be about? And I thought, somebody meeting somebody else in a holiday resort. So that one is waiting to be written as well.
Oh, that's so lovely. I mean, you can actually see so much from life. Like, I work in hospitality, and the amount of like interesting people you meet is like it's crazy. Like, you can make so many different stories through it. Like, one thing that I always love because I go to Salcombe campings, down south in
Yeah,
Devon, and I go camping there, but there's a lot of rich people that have holiday homes that are in the millions, and it's an expensive area.
yeah,
So we always like to joke about how we camp and how everyone else doesn't. And I always get inspiration for like a billionaire romance. Because I have
hmm,
to say I'm quite partial to them. I do quite like them. And then one year when we were in the estuary, there was this massive boat that was a super yacht. And the first thing that came to mind was this really like kind of intimidating grey boat, and I was like, that gives off such mafia vibes. And that was the one time where like inspiration was like, right, I opened my notes on my phone and I wrote absolute jumbled nonsense, and it just inspiration hit. So it's so interesting how life can
yeah,
inspire you so much, where you meet so many
yeah.
different characters, and like you'll be, as you say, on the train and a conversation inspire you, and they don't know that they've actually
They
got
don't.
themselves written into a book.
Yeah. Excuse me for
Imagine
coughing.
opening a book and happen to read it. I'm like, that sounds like me.
Yeah, exactly. Now, wouldn't that be fun, though? That is something else you could write about and put in a
I
book.
think that'd be amazing. What drew you to your current genre or style?
So I write romantic suspense, and I suppose it's something that I've always enjoyed. I like the putting in that sort of thrill in it, that danger, people needing saving. It could be stalkers, it could be all sorts of things. And I don't like it when it's just, okay, rom-coms can be really funny, but unless they
Yeah.
have that part sort of danger in it, I put the book down and kind of go, oh yeah, that's all right. But if it
Rom-coms
has
can be
the,
funny if they're done well.
oh no,
Um,
absolutely, they can be great.
but I find
Absolutely.
that it always needs an extra bit of
Yeah.
something in it. As you say, with the suspense, the danger, you need something
Yeah.
exciting. Like you need something to be like, what?
Yeah.
Because I've read a lot of rom-coms and they're not my usual go-to genre because they can be very hit and miss. But then the ones that have the extra bit, they're brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love the whole romantic suspense genre.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. And
Yeah. I
you
like
mentioned
the
stalkers.
yeah.
So do you write about the MMC being the stalker or the FMC being stalked and getting saved?
It's the FMC getting stalked. In my very first book, the FMC had been stalked previously before she met the MMC, and it was something that she thought been dealt with in the past. She'd actually held her captive for a weekend, but in the second book, which is also about them, that ugly past rears its ugly head
Yeah.
and causes a huge amount of problems for them. My friends always complain about this. I like to torture my characters. I like torturing them. I put them through absolute hell. And not just once, but quite often several times.
So you like to put your characters through hell and your readers as well because
Yeah.
we're going through it at the same time.
Yes, yeah, it's that hurt comfort, It's a romance, that it's always going to work out in the end. But I do like to make them work for it.
The one time I read a romance where it didn't work out in the end, I was like, I,
That's not a
I
romance.
I can't believe it. That's like that's cruel. So
Yeah,
all the way through, this author builds up this relationship, this couple, and it was so sweet. And at 90% of the book, she kills the MMC, and I was
yeah.
sobbing, and I was like, "What was the point? What was the actual point? Why did he do that?"
Yeah,
And
but
like, I
that's
don't know
not
if
a
it's like,
romance. The cardinal rule, yeah, the cardinal rule of romance is that there's a happy ever after.
yeah,
Otherwise, it's not a romance.
no, it's a
It's
horror.
not.
It's mean.
Well, yeah, yeah, pretty much.
The kind of happy ending was that the FMC now was looking after the MMC's daughter, and I'm like, that's
No,
like, yeah, sure, they've got each other, but it would have been much nicer if they actually had each other as a family, all
yeah.
three of them, not with one.
Yes. No, I'd have strong words to say to that author. I really would.
That was
Very
the one
strong
and
words.
only time I gave a 1-star review because I hate it. I never think if I don't like it, I don't do a 1-star review. I just
Hmm.
leave it, and I just don't think it's nice. But that was one time I was like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to because that's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
believe that. I had to read like 5 happy books afterwards. My mum came down. She's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No, I'm not."
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I'm cruel, but I'm not that cruel.
No.
I
And
wouldn't
I
do
love a
that.
bit of coolness, don't get me wrong. It adds something. It makes me like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. It makes me want to read on. But that was just too, that was no, that was not
Yeah.
good. Can you please give us a brief overview of your books and where you recommend readers start with?
Okay, yeah. So I've got my biggest series, my first series, which is currently at 5 books, and there are at least 3 more coming. That is romantic suspense. It has a tiny, tiny little paranormal aspect to it, but it's more sort of telepathy style rather than shifters or witches and vampires.
Yeah.
And they're very sort of friends to lovers, maybe a little bit of a slow burning one of them, but it's always gonna finish on a happy ever after. But I do put them, as I said, through absolute hell in between. I don't go halfway on it. That is the same for The first book I got out in another series, also romantic suspense without any paranormal aspect at all to it. The second one is now on the way. It's written, it's waiting with my editor. And then I've got my paranormal, where the main male character is an angel who has been thrown down to earth. He doesn't know why, he doesn't know what he's supposed to be doing, and he's very, very lonely. And the first we hear about him is, what he tells us is among his first memories, is building Khufu's pyramid in Giza 4,500 years ago. And he gets shifted forward without warning. Quite often, if he dies, he gets shifted forward. But when he wakes up in a new era, a new time, he doesn't know when or where. So he has to try and work all of that out each time. He kind of gets an inkling that's kind of given to him somehow. But obviously, he can't form many bonds because he knows he's going to get ripped away from it again. And the FMC has been through a traumatic time and is trying to rebuild her life. And they start dreaming about each other in steamy dreams.
Of
Very
course.
steamy. So yeah, all of my books have got very much of the hurt comfort, a lot of angst, soul-scorching love, because for these men and women, there is nobody else. There is absolutely nobody else. Yeah, that's how
how it
it is.
needs to be.
Yeah,
That's
I think
what
it
I look
does.
for. I love the whole soulmate sort of vibe or that sort of thing. Like that's what you want in life. You want a man who thinks you're their world and there's
Yeah,
nobody else for you. They won't even look at anyone else, which is not.
yeah.
That's
Well, in
not
my
one of us.
main series, they've actually got literal soulmates because of their abilities. They are sort of part of a sort of a large group of people that have got these abilities. And the first couple, that is an insta love. They fall head over heels within like a week of meeting. And I think 8 weeks after they meet, they're married. And their connection is so strong that they realize that they are what doesn't happen very often amongst them, but they are soulmates and there will never be anybody else for them. And if one of them was to die, the other one probably won't last very long. So yeah, I do have literal soulmates.
Amazing. And what is that one called then?
That one is called The Sentinels Saving Her.
Thanks for adding to my TBR because I have to go read that ASAP because that sounds amazing. Anything with this soulmates vibe. I know a lot of people don't really like that sort of insta love, but I love it. I mean,
Yeah,
when you meet one, why wouldn't you want to be jump straight into it when you know they're perfect for you and they're your soulmate? It's like it's amazing.
yeah.
I
Well,
love
in
it.
book 4, that main character is a 6'6", built like a brick house, former Navy SEAL
Okay.
who he thinks that he's not worthy of being loved. He thinks he's not, that nobody will be able to love him. He's got PTSD from his military days. He is not necessarily a one and done or hit them and quit them, but he will date, he will go out with a woman for a few nights, maybe have a few hot and steamy nights in a bed, but he will always be upfront about that this is not going to last, this is it, I'm only doing this because I'm not able to love anyone. That's basically what he says. With that story arc, it became so big, I had to split it over 2 books. But obviously, he does find out that he is worthy of love and he is able to love, but it took them a while to get there.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, it just makes it all more sweeter in the end, there, doesn't it?
yeah, I think it does because they are ripped apart by other people, basically. And for him, what happens becomes a huge struggle. And he also has to go back to the one place where he should never go back, which is Afghanistan, because part of his, or a huge chunk of his trauma comes from there. But he was very much, well, I don't even care if I come back or if I come back in a box. That's how deep he went with it.
Oh,
I
it's
know.
awful. But at least he finds his love in the end.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
might cry on the way, but at least he gets it. I
yeah.
think readers need to get looked into because when we pick this book that's obviously going to be sad, we're excited to start and we're like, yeah, crying, love it, make me cry.
Yeah.
Why? Why do we want that?
Well, we get to live in somebody else's world for a little while and
Yeah.
experience all these, because obviously in books, emotions are generally very heightened. So we get to experience that, but in a safe way.
Yeah.
Because we know it's going to work out well. We know that we can cry and we can have our hearts ripped
Yeah.
out, but it's going to be all okay in the end.
All good in the end. And that's the
Yeah,
thing. As long as it is all good in the end, it doesn't
yeah,
matter the cry. It lets you have these emotions. It allows you to feel this love that is so powerful that you're crying. It's like it's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. I
You
mean, I
can,
have done. I mean,
yeah.
I cry when I write my books sometimes because I am so horrible to them. I mean, I
But you need
literally,
to cry though, because if you
yeah,
don't, the reader's not going to. If you don't connect to them,
no,
then who is?
yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, my hero.
my angel man, I, I put him through being in the Vietnam War on one of his time jumps, and I wrote a torture scene for him, which I had based on a real scene from a POW from Vietnam War with the Viet Cong, because they were not nice to their prisoners. And my critique partner, she said, "You're going to have to tone this down." And I went, "Why? What?" And she goes, "This is too much. This is way too much." And I said, "But it happened to this person. You know, I changed obviously the things that happened because I didn't take his account as he stood." But she said, "No, it's too much. It's way too much. You are going to kill your readers if you do this." So I had to cut about half of that scene. And she still kind of went, "Yeah, okay, I can cope with this." But that's how bad I can be to my characters.
Brutal.
Yes. I even have a badge here somewhere from a signing from the Queens of Pain that says Torture Queen on it. I wear the
I love
crown with pride, honestly.
it's brilliant though. And you have amazing books to count for it, so it's fine.
Yeah.
It was so lovely talking to you today. Thank you for
And
joining on
you.
here. I can't wait to meet you at the Armouries. I'm very looking forward to the event.
That's going to be
Everyone
fantastic.
singing its praises. Have you been before?
I was there last year, yes, I was, yeah. But I'm hoping to enjoy it more this year because last year I was about 3 weeks away from having finished chemotherapy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so my brain was a little bit fuzzy. I'd lost all my hair, so I was wearing a wig, which doesn't make you very comfortable.
No.
I don't need sympathy or anything like that because I'm fine. But I'm hoping to be a little bit more aware. I think I was in a bit of a brain fog at the time.
Yeah.
So
I
and
mean,
I'm
that's
doing both
completely
days.
understandable. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing both days, so it's gonna be fantastic. And Sarah is amazing at organisation. She's just the queen of it. So
Yes. She
she
certainly
really
is.
is.
I'm finding that with the two different Facebook groups, getting all the
Yeah,
information on the takeover. She's doing a fantastic job.
she is. I envy her organisational skills because they are phenomenal. They really
Yeah.
are. And she's a lovely person as well.
I'm so excited to meet and then meet all the amazing authors as well that I've had the chance to talk to on these interviews.
Yeah.
And actually try not to buy all the books that you mentioned
Oh no, no,
because
buy them all. Buy them all.
I would, but my shelves, I live with my parents, as I mentioned, and I don't have any space. Like, I joked to my mum, like, do you need a spare bedroom? And she's like, Kate, don't buy any more books.
But no, but books, you've got to have loads of books.
You
And of
do,
course,
you
any
do.
pre-orders with me, you get a better price than you do on the day. And you get better swag as well. So, you know.
No, because I've just been to a book sign event, you know, the Rare London
Oh
one.
yes. I want to do
And
that one.
somehow I didn't buy any pre-orders. I went a little bit crazy on the day with my tips, but tips are free money, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Somehow I managed to fit them on my shelves, but they are bursting at the seams. But I didn't do any pre-orders, so I'm holding out and see
Yeah.
how strong I can be.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do Rare one day as an author. And I'm gutted I couldn't do it this year because it was London and I'm London. I'm
Yeah,
12 miles south of London. So that would have been fantastic, but maybe one day
yeah.
would be
I mean,
great.
it's 2 years until the next UK one, so
Yeah.
fingers crossed I can see you at the next London one. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
talking to me today. It's lovely chatting to you and getting to know you,
Yeah,
and
it's an absolute pleasure.
I'll see you in October.